Have you either of you started watching the new documentary about Brady
My dad has. He's
No.
seen it all. He keeps telling me to watch it, but
I don't want to digress too much here, John. That's a funny list, but
Is
I
it
think
on? It's the one on Apple TV, right?
Yeah. I've been watching it, and they talk a lot about Robert Kraft a couple times. They talk about how Bill Belichick rips Tom a new one all the time for 20 years. In practice, they'll show Bill Belichick would pull all of the sacks and incompletions and missed throws, and just to start practice all the time, just like cussing up. He's like, this looks like he's playing football out here, whatever. So like anything that they could call him. And Robert Kraft is in this documentary a lot, which Bill is also, which I find interesting because it's not all nice about him. And they always call him Tommy, which is funny. But Robert Kraft's like, Tommy and I had multiple conversations over multiple years about the way Bill treated him. And you know what? Tommy's sensitive. Tommy's a sensitive guy. And Tommy cares. And, his whole life, he's been out to prove that he's good enough. And his whole life, he's had everybody tell him that he's not good enough, whether it's at Michigan with Drew Henson splitting time as a quarterback, and whether it's Drew Bledsoe coming back to play in the playoffs, should they play him for the Super Bowl? And if it's Bill Belichick telling him he's not good enough anymore, and it's winning one in Tampa. And I was just thinking about this poor guy right now. For the first time in my life, I have a little sympathy for him, because Gazelle has now come out and say publicly that now she is dating Giselle. Giselle.
Gazelle. Is that the celebrity antelope from Zootopia?
Yes.
Gazelle.
Great movie. Try Everything
so
by
funny.
Shakira. It's a jam. Anyways, Gazelle has now publicly come out to say that she is in a relationship with her trainer, something that
Right.
Tom suspected at the time that they were together. And he just talks about how much
Tom.
he feared being replaced his entire career. And like this poor guy getting replaced again.
and just imagine twice.
You're telling me Tom Brady hasn't dated anybody since the divorce?
He's probably
Also,
destroyed emotionally.
After Robert Kraft's quote was, which would have been funny for quotes with Pat today, but he's like, Tommy's a sensitive guy. And I was like, shut the up, man.
Oh, he is. He's like that kid that's a super good athlete, and then you see his team win by 20 points, and his dad's screaming at him on the car ride home, honestly. TB12. And he is. He's being... Can you imagine, like, you're just Tom Brady, and the Patriots draft Jimmy Garoppolo, and you're like, oh, my God, he might take my job.
And he starts winning.
Yeah, and he's
the thing
handsomer
is
than
that
you.
They go into it on the series because like Bill Belichick loved Jimmy G as a person, as a kid, and they're like,
and as a face, probably.
How could you not?
He's got quarterback face, man.
God, we were talking about this. But they kept talking about the stark difference between how he treated them, and Tom put up with it, and he didn't care. But
I struggle every time I start to feel sympathy for Tom Brady, because I feel like that's like second level Stockholm syndrome or something like that. Where it's like, this guy was our tormentor for years. It's not like he's just some guy who's disconnected to us and we can like root for now or anything like that.
No, but
it's your
doesn't it make
turn.
you feel good that he kind of like suffered a little bit? Like, that he suffered
I'm not saying
everyday
it
man
makes me feel-
problems.
I'm not saying it makes me feel good. I'm just not going to celebrate the guy's wins at all or feel bad for him at this point. So
Just
not too high, not
humanizes
too
him a
low.
little bit, I guess, if nothing else.
Yeah.